Mainstream coverage often presents the current violence in Manipur as a spontaneous, isolated ethnic clash between tribes. This fracture is actually the final collapse of a structure that has been under mounting pressure for 2 centuries. Look at the geography. Manipur is essentially a massive stadium. A ring of mountains surrounds a flat central plain, the Infall Valley. Historically, the Meitei majority lives in this central valley, while Naga and Kuki tribes reside in the surrounding hills. The physical contrast is absolute. You have concentrated, dense settlements in the plains, surrounded by miles of sprawling, rugged highlands. In the 1700s, under the Kingdom of Konglipak, these borders were fluid. Tribes moved through the forests and hills as they needed, following the flow of natural resources. While Burmese invasions and subsequent migrations brought violence and upheaval, identity wasn't yet locked into rigid, legal political boundaries. Before colonial intervention, Manipur's geography was a shared environment rather than a weaponized border. The British arrived in 1826 and introduced a binary administrative strategy. They established direct rule over the Central Plains for economic reasons, but left the difficult mountain terrain to govern itself. After conflicts like the Anglo-Kuki War, the British decided to manage the hill tribes through social inclusion rather than force, allowing Christian missionaries into the highlands to pacify the region. This policy created a permanent cultural divide that persists today, a predominantly Hindu population in the valley and a predominantly Christian population in the hills. In 1949, the Indian government forced a merger agreement. Manipur's king was placed under house arrest in Shillong until he signed away the state's autonomy. This loss of sovereign power became the seed of Meitei resentment, and it directly fueled the birth of the first local insurgencies. Post-independence laws deepened the divide. The 1960 Land Reform Act established a one-way rule. Hill tribes could purchase land in the valley, but valley residents, the Meiteis, were prohibited from buying land in the hills. In 1965, the government granted scheduled tribe status to the Naga and Kuki, giving them specific legal protections that were denied to the Meitei population. These 2 laws effectively boxed the valley population in, transforming their historical shared geography into a rigid legal cage. By the 1990s, these locked legal categories forced ethnic groups to form armed insurgent wings to protect their territorial interests. Naga groups demanded a separate nation called Greater Nagaland, claiming a massive portion of Manipur's hills. Simultaneously, Kuki groups demanded their own separate state, claiming land that directly overlapped the Naga territory. This geographic overlap led to the 1993 Kuki Black Day massacre, where over 100 Kuki civilians were killed by Naga forces as the 2 groups fought for control of the same hills. The groups are fighting for the exact same physical space. Today, the government remains in a complete stalemate. Any peace talk with one group triggers a violent response from others, like the 2001 riots where protesters burned the assembly to stop a potential Naga peace deal. Today, the breaking points are everywhere, from abnormal population growth in the hills to Meitei demands to restore their original tribal status. The human cost of this deadlock is visible in displacement camps across the state, where families have been forced into a state of permanent survival. 2 centuries of artificial borders, unequal land laws, and broken political promises have boxed this society into a corner. Today's violence is the pressure of that history finally giving way.